Welcome to the Infinite Debate. In each episode, we summon two of history's greatest thinkers to wrestle with timeless questions that continue to shape our lives today. Tonight, Plato, the Athenian philosopher who envisioned the Republic, a society governed by harmony and order, and Confucius, the sage of ancient China, who taught that true harmony begins with the cultivation of personal virtue. The question before us: does justice arise from order imposed upon society, or from the virtue nurtured within each individual? Let's begin.
Justice, I have argued, is not chaos, nor is it merely the whim of individuals. It is harmony, each part of the city and each part of the soul performing its proper role. A just society is like a well-tuned lyre. If one string is out of place, the entire song collapses. Without structure and order, virtue has no soil in which to grow.
Master Plato, order has its place, but what gives it meaning? A society can be tightly ordered and yet deeply unjust. Justice arises not from the arrangements of rulers, but from the self-cultivation of people. When each person practices humaneness, and fulfills their responsibilities with sincerity, harmony follows naturally. Order without virtue is like a ritual without sincerity, empty, brittle, doomed to break.
So we hear two visions, one of justice as structure, the other as character. Is it the city that must be rightly ordered, or the heart?
In Athens, I saw democracy dissolve into mob rule and tyranny follow. I learned that without a guiding order, human desires run wild. The many seek pleasure, the few seek power, and justice disappears. It is only by assigning each to their proper station, the rulers to wisdom, the soldiers to courage, the workers to temperance, that a just society can endure.
And yet consider, what gives rulers wisdom, soldiers courage, and workers temperance? It is not an external decree, but the inner cultivation of virtue. A ruler without moral character, cannot command loyalty. A son without filial piety cannot respect the elder. A minister without sincerity corrupts the state. The harmony of society begins with the harmony of the self. Without virtue, order is tyranny in disguise.
But Confucius, individual virtue cannot be trusted to appear in all. If one waits for every soul to be perfected, society will never advance. That is why the philosopher kings must rule. Those few who have ascended to knowledge of the good must shape the city so that justice prevails, even if virtue is unevenly spread.
And yet what king can endure if he is not himself virtuous? History is filled with mighty rulers whose kingdoms collapsed because their hearts were corrupted. An unjust ruler pollutes the order you revere. Better to teach the people the way, to guide them by example, than to impose harmony by decree. Order imposed by force breeds resentment. Virtue cultivated in hearts breeds lasting peace.
We live centuries beyond Athens and ancient China, but the question remains. Let's ask, how do your philosophies echo in today's world?
Look around. In many places, rules abound, yet corruption thrives. Laws are written in abundance, but trust erodes. Why? Because rules cannot replace integrity. A man may obey the law and still be unjust, but if he embodies virtue, kindness, honesty, loyalty, justice follows naturally, even where the law is silent.
And yet, Confucius, look also at societies where laws are weak. Corruption festers there as well. Without order, virtue is but a private ornament, admired but powerless. Justice requires more than good hearts. It requires institutions, education, and law to align society toward the good. The city shapes a soul as much as the soul shapes a city.
True, but the city that neglects the soul decays from within. Today, technology organizes society with precision, yet depression, loneliness, and mistrust spread. Why? Because the inner life has been neglected. Justice must grow from the roots of virtue, not merely from the branches of order.
And yet, if society collapses into disorder, even virtue has no stage. A man may be virtuous in private, but if thieves rule the streets, his virtue avails little. Therefore, the just order of the city must be established first.
Let's turn deeper. What is human nature, and how does it shape your visions of justice?
Humans are divided. Reason, spirit, and appetite constantly contend. Left unchecked, appetite overwhelms reason. Order disciplines the soul as law disciplines the city. The just man is one whose reason rules, just as the just city is one where the wise govern. Without order, chaos is inevitable.
I see humanity differently. Humans are born with the capacity for goodness, though it must be nurtured. A child learns by example, by ritual, by the love of parents and the guidance of elders. The heart, if cultivated, inclines toward virtue. If neglected, it withers. Justice arises not from suppressing appetites by force, but from shaping the heart through education and moral example.
But do not appetites resist shaping? Many pursue pleasure despite example. They must be restrained by structure. That is why I insist on guardians, education for the philosopher kings, and discipline for all.
Education is vital, yes, but its goal is not to mold subjects into rigid roles. It is to awaken their humanity. The child who learns lie, ritual propriety, and compassion, does not need chains. His virtue becomes his own restraint. Justice blooms when individuals cultivate self-control and benevolence, not when they are forced into place.
Let's speak of rulers. Should justice come from the top or from within the people?
The philosopher king embodies the pinnacle of justice. Few can ascend to knowledge of the good, but those who do must guide the rest. Leaders shape the city as the mind shapes the body. Without their wisdom, the people are lost.
A true leader leads not by compulsion, but by virtue. If a king is just, the people imitate him. If he is corrupt, the people follow him into ruin. The best governance is like the North Star. It stays in place, and all the other stars turn toward it. Rule by virtue, not decree, and justice will follow.
But how to ensure such a ruler exists? Virtue may be imitated, but it is rare. Institutions, education, and strict order are needed to guard against corruption. Without them, the virtuous leader is but a dream.
And yet without virtue, your institutions will still decay. A law without morality is like a sword without a wielder. Sharp, perhaps, but useless or dangerous.
Confucius, your vision is noble but naive. Not all men will cultivate virtue. Many will choose vice, and their vices will consume the just. Only an ordered city, guided by the wise, can protect the good and restrain the corrupt.
And yours, Plato, is cold and mechanical. A city of rigid roles without humanity becomes a prison. Justice without compassion is tyranny with a polished face. Teach men to be virtuous, and order will follow naturally. Impose order without virtue, and rebellion waits at the door.
But if rebellion never ends, what then? Must we forever trust to the unpredictable virtue of men? Better to craft a system that endures beyond the character of individuals.
And what system endures if the people within it decay? History answers, none.
So, order without virtue risks tyranny. Virtue without order risks chaos. Can justice survive without both?
Justice is the harmony of the whole. achieved when each part fulfills its role under the guidance of wisdom. Without order, justice is an empty word.
Justice is the flowering of the heart, achieved when each person cultivates virtue in themselves and treats others with humanity. Without virtue, justice is a hollow shell.
Absolute truth or eternal questioning? Maybe the only truth is that the debate never ends. Tell us, where do you stand? Drop your verdict below, subscribe, and join us next time. And until then, keep questioning infinitely.